Hi there, Andrew Anderson, and today we have the pleasure of speaking with Sarah Amonn from Zelko Aesthetics, and we're going to talk about her journey on changing her eating habits and maybe a few other things. And again, this is the 10-minute interview, so we're going to get a lot packed in here. I'm going to hit the start button, and we're on. Sarah, thank you for coming on today.
Awesome. Thank you for having me. I'm
You're
excited
welcome.
to share my journey.
Me too.
Uh,
So I'll tell you what, I'm going to be quiet and you go ahead and tell us how you got to where you are today.
right on. So, long story, I'm going to make it short. Um, my biggest thing with getting to where I was, what was truly detoxing my body from all sugars, wheats, and flours. I started the journey January 12th, 2022. And I have lost 83 pounds so far.
Whoa.
Yeah, I know it's crazy.
Whoa.
I started it right after I had my last child, and it was time. I let the weight kind of accumulate through pregnancies and didn't put myself first, which is easy to do, I think, for any mother.
Hmm.
Um, and yeah, I took time. I went to a facility in Minnesota. I'm located in Milwaukee that really focuses on detoxing your body from sugar. Um, it's called CORE, COR. They focus it on, it's a 12-step program. So it's focused in recovery, and they view sugar addiction and flour and wheat the same as alcohol and drugs. And that was appealing to me. I've been sober for 12 years and in recovery and in the world. So it was appealing to me to hear and see it pitched that way.
Can,
Um,
can can I interject something here and maybe
yeah,
you'll get to it, but for everybody who doesn't know this, sugars they have the same impact on the same part of the brains as heroin, cocaine, even alcohol. All the addiction they hit all those synapses and they are just as damaging and people don't
for
realize that.
sure.
So go ahead.
Yeah, I think even almost more damaging than
Hmm.
some of the addictions out there. So yeah, I I've been living a really good life, but putting some weight on through pregnancies and life, and realized that I had to. Sugar doesn't work for me like at all. So after I went to core, I came out and I just gave it my all. I had a strict food plan. It's a little maybe more strict than a basic keto food plan. My food plan includes weighed and measured foods at every single meal, which now is easy for me to know and do. But in the beginning, it was a struggle to. There's a lot to really take on with, like, okay, I can't just grab something to eat. I have to plan my meals and have everything ready for my day, which in the end made it so much easier to be prepared that way. But um, yeah, I have 3 meals a day. I have 2 snacks a day. My snack is typically a Greek yogurt, plain, no sugar, with 6 ounces of berries. And that's like my go-to. So like the biggest thing for me is eating to nourish my body and give my body the strength and energy it needs to live my days. And that's I pack a lot in a day.
Awesome. Yeah. So having a plan and having structure are important
Mm-hmm.
in pretty much any endeavor I've ever tried in life, and especially with what you've done too.
Totally.
Specifically, do you have a carb limit? Do you count that at all? Do you have a where you're
So I
are right
don't
now?
have a carb limit. What I do is I do 6 ounces of protein. So my protein is usually just a grass-fed beef that I make. I do 3 ounces of a starch. My starch is usually a brown rice, or I'll do a piece of Ezekiel bread.
Hmm.
And then I do 8 ounces of vegetables. And my vegetables, I usually do a tablespoon of butter or oil.
Okay, cool. And you mentioned Ezekiel bread. Can you tell us why you use Ezekiel bread rather than the healthy whole grain,
Yeah,
whatever?
healthy
Yeah,
whole grain and whole
yeah,
wheat and blah blah blah.
yeah.
Yeah, because for me it's the cleanest bread that doesn't trigger anything. That it's clean. It for me it doesn't cause inflammation. I
Mhm.
don't notice any shift in my body when I eat Ezekiel bread.
Right. And
So it works.
so the key here, because I used to have a healthy whole grain business
Yeah,
until I figured out what was going on. It's primarily for people to know it's from sprouted grains.
right.
It's after they've lost a lot of their toxicity, so that's why Ezekiel bread is. If you're going to eat anything, that's the one you should do.
Correct.
So
Yeah.
so along with the weight loss, you have to feel better physically.
Yeah,
How did it impact your mental faculties though, and like your mood and everything else?
totally. So it changed literally everything. I mean, like
Mhm.
everything. It changed how I sleep, how I wake up, how I work out, how I mother, how
Hmm.
I work. I mean, it gave me I have so much more energy now. And I've always been an energetic person. I've always lived a super healthy, organic life, so I've
Yeah,
always been in the holistic world, but I would
yeah,
eat organic sugar, and that's still sugar no matter what. So it still wasn't, doing me good. I also don't eat any artificial sugars at all.
good for
Um,
you.
just my preference. Um, so yeah, I don't ever have mind fog, like ever have my mind is always clear unless I'm dead tired after the end of my day. But otherwise, I just feel alive again. And I'm ready to take on anything that comes my way because my mind is right, because my body's right. And that for me is the most important.
Right. I call the phenomenon sixth gear because you get in there, you don't feel like you're just grinding through your day. And the reason why I was eating 3 pounds of sugar a week in my coffee. And so when I made the transition, it was like if somebody had told me how good you could feel like you did, I would have never believed them. I would have called them a liar. There's like no
Totally.
way I can have this much energy from the time I get up until even if I have to pull a 12-hour day, I am
Yeah.
still rocking and rolling. There's no mind fog. The
Yes.
depression's gone. The
Yes.
moodiness is gone. Yeah. So
Yeah, that's huge, and um that transition of like how I feel. Like when I see people eat now, they're like, oh, I got such it makes you tired. It makes you feel like crap. And like
mhm.
I almost forget what that feels like because
Right.
it's when you eat to nourish your body, it's a different feeling after.
Right. So would you say this is what impacted your relationships?
Oh
Probably.
gosh, yeah, for sure.
Your
Yeah,
mental attitude.
absolutely.
Um, your probably your I don't want to get, but your activity with your husband. The
Totally.
physical
Yeah,
activity.
absolutely.
And how about your bank account? That's what I always ask too. Did it help your bank
Yeah,
account?
for sure. It did.
Yeah.
Definitely. I'm not buying garbage and I'm
Right.
working harder, at my job and making more money.
Yeah.
So
Go
yeah, it definitely has.
go figure. Yeah, that's one of the things that people don't realize that, and that was one of the reasons why I done it. Someone else had said, "Hey, listen, you start doing this, you'll make more money." I'm like, "Are you crazy? Why not though?" I made a split second like that, and
Totally.
it's true. So you're going to feel better, but you're going to have more money in your bank account because you can think more clearly. So we've got a minute and about 15 seconds left. What other
Cool.
advice could you tell someone that wants to do this?
hmm I think my biggest advice is just take action and do it. Even if you start slow, you'll get there, but like take the action to put the sugar down. It's
Yeah.
the biggest for me. That's the biggest killer is sugar, and
Uh,
it's in everything.
yeah.
It's literally in everything. Like my food plan is so basic,
Mhm.
um, but it works.
Right. And I'm assuming you don't buy boxes of things.
Nothing. No,
No,
everything
no.
we eat and my family and my kids eat this way. That's how I cook. And I'm thankful to pass that down to them.
Right. Yeah, because this is going to change their whole lives.
So,
Did they like it too?
yeah, in the beginning they were like,
Mom.
I want my chicken tenders and blah
Yeah.
blah. But like now it's what we do. You know, my husband too. It's what we do. And we don't think about it anymore. It's just how we eat. We don't eat out. And if we do, we eat at a clean restaurant.
Awesome. All right. So we're right at the limit there, Sarah Amonn. Thank you very
Yes.
much.
Thank
And we'll
you.
talk more later. I appreciate this.
Cool.
Thank you.
Yeah, for sure. For sure.